Now that we've glimpsed the energy you could have, you might be asking, why do I feel so heavy the moment I swing my legs out of bed? It's because whether you're in the damp heat of the south or the forced air dryness of the north, your environment is staging a silent coup against your vitality. While you sleep, the very air in your home, climatized for comfort, is actually dehydrating your tissues at a cellular level, turning your internal lubrication into a thick, sticky sludge. We call this the suburban stagnation trap. We've built these perfect climate-controlled cocoons, but they've disconnected our bodies from the natural cues that tell our cells to wake up and move. You reach for the caffeine thinking your engine is just old. But the engine isn't old. It's just stuck in the mud created by 12 hours of stagnant indoor air. Inside your muscles, your microscopic power plants, the mitochondria, are struggling to spark. They are literally drowning in the metabolic waste that didn't get cleared out overnight. This isn't a geographic curse, and it's certainly not just part of getting older. It is a biological friction that can be lubricated with the right sequence of habits. To break the trap, we have to look past the thermostat and deep into the way your body creates its own internal electricity. But to fix this morning brain fog, we first have to look under the hood at the microscopic engine that's actually sputtering out. Now that you've seen how your environment creates that morning friction, you might be asking, why can't I just push through it like I did in my 40s? The answer lies in these tiny bean-shaped structures called mitochondria. Think of them as the thousands of tiny power plants residing in every single cell of your body. When we're younger, these plants are incredibly efficient. They take the oxygen you breathe and the food you eat and convert them into a biological currency called ATP. But as we cross the 60-year mark, these power plants start to undergo a change. They don't just disappear, they become leaky. Instead of producing clean power, they begin to leak exhaust, something scientists call oxidative stress. This exhaust damages the cell from the inside out, making every movement feel like you're walking through wet cement. This isn't a design flaw, it's a maintenance issue. Over decades, the protective casing of your cellular batteries wears down, slowing down the electrical signals between your brain and your limbs. This is why you feel that 2 p.m. crash. Your body is literally running out of currency. It's trying to pay for a high-energy life with a bankrupt cellular bank account. You might feel like your get up and go has got up and left. But the science shows us that these power plants aren't broken. They're just dormant, waiting for a specific physiological spark. We can actually repair these casings and stop the leaks. We can force these power plants to upgrade their hardware, regardless on your birth certificate. Now that you see why your cellular batteries are low, let's look at the specific 5-minute movement protocol that jumpstarts those engines better than a double espresso. Now that you understand how those leaky mitochondria are draining your battery, you might be asking, how do I actually flip the switch and start the repair process? It starts with a hydraulic flush. You see, unlike your heart, your lymphatic system, the waste disposal network for your cells, doesn't have a pump. It relies entirely on you. This is why we start every morning with the heel drop. It's a gentle, rhythmic vibration that uses gravity to force that cellular exhaust out of your tissues. With every soft thud of your heels, you are physically pushing metabolic waste toward your lymph nodes to be filtered and cleared. You are cleaning the spark plugs of your mitochondria. Just 10 of these drops creates a pressure wave. It's not about intensity, it's about the vibration. It tells your body, the workday has begun. Clear the pipes. Next, we move to the synovial sweep. By gently twisting the torso, we are squeezing the sponges of our spinal discs, forcing fresh, lubricating fluid into the joints. Think of this as oiling a rusty hinge. This fluid carries the nutrients those mitochondria need to stop leaking and start producing that blue ATP energy we saw earlier. 5 minutes. That's all it takes to shift from suburban stagnation to hydraulic flow. You'll feel a tingling in your hands and feet. That's the sound of your power plants coming back online. By the time you finish this flush, your internal environment is no longer working against you. You've cleared the mud, and your cells are finally ready to receive their first delivery of high-grade fuel. Flushing the system is only half the battle. The real magic happens when we change what we put back into that freshly cleaned engine. Now that you've flushed the stagnant waste out of your system with those morning movements, you might be asking, how do I make sure this energy actually lasts past mid-morning? For years, we've been told that a light breakfast is best. But for the senior body, a breakfast of just toast or fruit is like trying to start a campfire with nothing but dry leaves. It flares up, then dies instantly. After age 60, your muscles become anabolically resistant. They are literally starving for protein, but they become harder to feed. If you don't give them exactly what they need within 30 minutes of waking, your body begins to harvest its own muscle for fuel. This is why we implement the 30-30-30 rule. We need 30 grams of high-quality protein within 30 minutes of your hydraulic flush. This creates a chemical signal that tells your body to build muscle, not burn it. This isn't just about eating more. It's about hitting a specific threshold of an amino acid called leucine. Think of leucine as the key that unlocks the door to your muscle cells, allowing that blue ATP energy to actually move in and stay. When you hit that 30-gram mark, your blood sugar stabilizes. Instead of the sugar spike and crash of a bagel, you get a steady, slow-release burn that protects your brain from that dreaded 2 p.m. fog. Stable blood sugar is the secret to emotional stability and focus. By fueling the anabolic window, you aren't just feeding your muscles, you're shielding your nervous system from the stress of a morning crash. You'll notice the difference in just 3 days. The shakiness disappears. The strength in your grip returns. You've moved from surviving the morning to actually powering through it. With your muscles fueled and your blood sugar steady, there is one final environmental trigger you need to flip to ensure you don't crash by 2 p.m. Now that you've fueled your muscles and stabilized your blood sugar, you might be asking, why do I still feel a fog in my mind, even when my body feels fed? It's because your brain is still living in the dark. Deep inside your brain sits a master clock that controls every hormone in your body. If it doesn't see the sun, it assumes you're still hibernating. This is photobiomodulation. It sounds complex, but it's the simplest habit of all. By getting natural light into your eyes within the first hour of waking, you are flipping the circuit breaker for your entire day. These light particles act as a chemical signal. They tell your brain to stop producing melatonin, the sleep hormone, and start a massive surge of cortisol and serotonin to give you focus and joy. Here is the medical secret. The quality of your sleep tonight is actually determined by the light you see this morning. This light reset ensures that 14 hours from now, your body will know exactly how to shut down. You don't need a tan, and you don't even need a clear sky. Even on a cloudy day in Seattle, the light intensity outside is 10 times stronger than your brightest indoor lamp. 5 to 10 minutes is all your master clock needs. When this clock is synced, your mitochondria, those power plants we fixed earlier, actually work more efficiently. Your brain and your body are finally speaking the same language. By aligning your internal clock with the world outside, you aren't just feeling younger today, you're rewiring how your body ages for the next 20 years. Now that you understand how a simple beam of morning light can reset your brain's master clock, you might be asking, can these 3 small habits really change the trajectory of my health? The answer lies in what we call compound vitality. Individually, these protocols are helpful, but together, they create a biological synergy that reverses the stagnation we talked about at the start of our journey. When you flush the toxins, fuel the muscle, and flip the light switch, you stop fighting against your age and start working with your biology. You'll find that the weight of the morning simply disappears. This isn't about running marathons or restrictive dieting. It's about these three pillars: 5 minutes of movement, 30 grams of protein, 10 minutes of light. You have the power to repair your cellular engines. Your zip code doesn't define your energy levels. Your routine does. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up in that climate-controlled room, remember, you have the keys to the plant. Start the flush, feed the fire, and find the light. Because your best years aren't behind you. They are currently being powered by the choices you make before 9 a.m. I'm rooting for you. We'll see you in the next episode.